Is it ever really possible to get enough sleep? The answer is probably not. And with so many of us keeping our smartphones lurking on our bedside tables, with all that sleep-disrupting blue light emanating from them when we're checking them for messages late at night, it's no wonder we're not getting enough quality rest. I'm Erin from TechGadgetsCanada.com, and I recently had a chance to try out a new alarm clock that promises to not only help you wake up more effectively, but to help you fall asleep faster and more gently. This in the big box here is the Philips Somneo Sleep Wake Light. I recently had a chance to test it out in my home for a few weeks, and this is what I found. Philips Somneo is an alarm clock that has a built-in light. The light simulates the sun either as it rises or sets, and the clock also has sound effects and white noise to help you drift off to sleep. It's a fairly large clock, but its soft donut shape gives it really nice aesthetics. While many specialty lights for the home are now app-connected, what sets the Philips Somneo apart is that it's not. You control this alarm clock with virtual buttons that are on the front of the device, and perhaps that's strategic to avoid the temptation of bringing your cell phone into the bedroom. Since there's no connectivity, the setup is straightforward, but it's not simple. There are a variety of virtual buttons on the clock face that are accessed by touching the home button. The menus that make up the functions of the clock are deep and multi-layered, and the buttons aren't exactly labeled for quick recall. The pictograph-style icons do take some interpretation. The Philips Somneo Sleep Wake Light has several interesting features. When an alarm is set, the Somneo light will come on slowly, starting with a dim glow and then brightening gradually over a length of time you can choose until it brightens your room like a natural sunrise. I've sped up the video here just so you can see the effect. Now similarly, at bedtime you can set the light to dim gradually, simulating sunset and triggering your body to head for sleep. There's several different sound effects available on the Philips Somneo Sleep Wake Light, and you can either use some of these to fall asleep to as kind of white noise or as your wake-up sound. Everything from sort of birds chirping, a more natural environment, if you will, to more musical wake-up sounds as well. There's also an FM radio, which you can use for passive listening or as part of your wake-up routine. The Philips Somneo Sleep Wake Light has a nightlight function, and though you can't tell in here because I've got my TV lights so bright, it is actually on right now. Now that's one of the really nice features about that nightlight is that it's not going to come on really brightly and jar you awake. It's just a very gentle light. You access it by hitting this touch-sensitive pad on top of the alarm clock here to turn it on or off, and it's worth noting that this touchpad also doubles as your snooze button. You can also connect your phone or tablet using the auxiliary jack, but you shouldn't, right? Using the Philips Somneo's touchscreen menus, it's also possible to set two different alarms, one for weekdays and one for weekends, or to set a different time for each partner, and this is a feature I really like. To set the alarms, you'll tap Home, then touch the Alarm button, which is a small bell icon. Here you can scan your currently set alarms. To change them, there's an icon on the far right, which is a bell with a gear. Click that to adjust the time, then touch the clock icon. Then just use those plus or minus buttons to adjust the time. Initially, I wasn't sure I was snoozing the Philips Somneo light correctly, and that's because initially I didn't realize that the Nightlight button here is also the snooze button. But once I figured that out, no problem. Now, if you're going to hit that snooze button, you're buying yourself another 9 minutes of sleep. Worth pointing out, too, that it will only be silencing the audio on this. The lighting effect, that sunrise effect, is going to stay on until you're ready to shut the alarm off, which you do with a small button here on the touchpad front, and that'll turn the alarm off until the next day. The speaker quality on this alarm clock isn't great, but hey, it's an alarm clock, not a Bose home stereo. It does sound quite flat and sort of tinny, but again, this is not a device you're using for most of your music listening. It's designed to wake you up and send you to sleep for a few minutes or so at a time. So does the Philips Somneo work? I've used a variety of different sleep-wake lights over the years, and I have to say I'm hooked on these. I find that having that simulated sunrise effect wake me up helps me really ease into the day. Now, part of that is because most days I'm often up at 3 in the morning and it's still really dark outside. So having that simulated sunrise helps me feel like I'm actually not waking up in the middle of the night. If there were some things I didn't love about the Somneo, it was that touchscreen multi-layered menu. Particularly as I was getting used to it and learning, I found I had to keep the manual handy to make sure I was setting things up properly. It's just not really intuitive out of the box. I didn't love the quality of the sound effects overall. I found them to be kind of harsh or fake sounding, and I don't think the quality of the speaker helps, but it's also not meant to be a high quality audio device. This is meant to be a light that gets you out of bed in the morning. Now, despite that, I really like the Philips Somneo, and I'm going to continue using it. I love the sleek design and the modern look. I love the wake-up effect. I love the white noise effects and the sunset effects that can help me drift off to sleep. And overall, it's kind of nice not having to complicate things by using it with my smartphone. It lets me leave that in another room and sleep easy. I can just focus on waking up with this light. If you want more information about it, there's a full blog online at techgadgetscanada.com. Head over there, check it out, and ask me any questions you have either there or, of course, here on the YouTube channel. If you want to know how much the Somneo light costs, it sells for about 219 Canadian dollars from places like Philips website or Amazon. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please hit that like button and consider subscribing, since it does help me keep making more videos that I hope you all can watch and enjoy. I'm Erin. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram. Until the next time, I'm at ErinLYYC.